Hey everyone, welcome back to Reissued. If you're new here, my name is Andrew. My bedroom is finally done, and today I'm going to be doing the final reveal. Now, if you're a regular here on the channel, you know that we do things a little bit differently here. Some DIYers that you watch may do a whole makeover in a single episode or over a weekend. I completed the first project for this room over 2 years ago, so yeah. Here at Reissued, I'm really focused on using thrifted and repurposed materials, acquiring things that are meaningful to me, and that takes time. And nearly everything in the space is thrifted or totally handmade. And so at the end of the day, I think that's worth the wait. So there have been so many projects happening in this space over the last 2 years, and so today we're putting everything together, taking a step back, seeing what the space needs, and zeroing in on those final details that are going to pull the whole space together. Clearly, details are my favorite thing. I think they're so important for design to make it feel personal and individualized and layered, but I also think the details and styling are fun and approachable. Not everyone has the tools or the time or the amazing help from their parents to totally overhaul their space in the way that I have, but those little details in the styling go a long way to add that extra sense of luxury and completeness and warmth that anyone could achieve with the right eye. So I'm going to be talking you through my thought process and final steps for finishing off the space, and of course giving you a very satisfying before and after so that you can see how far this space has come. I can't wait to get started. Let's jump on it. So if you're not up to speed on where we are with the bedroom makeover at this point, I am going to create a playlist with all of the bedroom related videos so that you can check out in depth everything that's happened so far. But if you have been watching along, I'm going to do a quick recap to refresh your memory on the design process so far to give some context to the final design choices that we're making. First, I like a dark, warm, moody vibe for a bedroom, but since this room doesn't get much natural light, and since we needed to camouflage the heavily textured ceiling, I opted to put a dark, moody charcoal shade on the ceiling and keep the walls on the lighter end, but still warm. Next, the thrifted Ethan Allen canopy bed for $100 at the REISSUED established an air of sophistication and drama that was new for me, and that would require a sense of coolness and casualness to keep it from feeling stuffy. This was kind of the idea behind the custom faux leather headboard pad, which was the first project that I did for this space 2 years ago. And I definitely think that helped with modernizing and kind of dressing down the bed. And finally, there were some practical issues with the room, namely the storage situation with the useless little closet, the useless big closet, and my added PAX wardrobes gave another opportunity to further the design profile. The ULC became a rich, dark academia-style built-in unit made from a thrifted entertainment center. And the sculptural, thrifted, angled cabinets for shoe storage and the custom PAX doors added a Zen, origami, geometric, Asian-inspired vibe. And we echoed that further with the custom IKEA hack window shade. And so once all the design elements were kind of handed to us either by necessity or by the fate factor, also known as the REISSUED, we were shooting for a moody, dark academia, sophisticated but cool, kind of Zen vibe. I know you may be thinking that all those things can't work together, but I'll let you decide after the final reveal. So that brings us to the present day with 3 big decisions to make. First, I decided to make one cool accent pillow, but I had to decide on a color. I am definitely gonna go with the rust-colored corduroy pillow here. Even before I posted that video, I knew that was what I was leaning toward, and there were a lot of people in the comments that agreed with me, so we're leaning into orangey reds. Another big decision that I was going back and forth on a lot was whether to paint the sides and the baseboard of the IKEA PAX unit black. I got a lot of feedback on the PAX video that the baseboard would look better painted black, and I totally agree with that. However, from the side, I wasn't sure how to connect that into the side of the unit, and I worried that painting the whole side black would just feel too heavy and like a black hole on the side of the room. And so when in doubt, I love to put a poll up on Instagram, and ultimately most people thought that leaving it in the lighter shade to match the wall was the right choice. So we're going with that. If you disagree with that decision, be sure that you're following me on Instagram so that you can weigh in on the next poll that I do. That's often the easiest way for me to get feedback from you on my ongoing designs, so check that out. And finally, although it's been kind of my plan all along to remove the UBC and open that up to the guest room, those rooms were originally connected, that's kind of like an old house quirk. It turns out that the UBC is not as useless as I had thought, and keeping some division between these rooms makes more practical sense, at least for now. Maybe if I find another space in the house for more concealed storage, we could do a cool, like, secret door thing. Let me know what you think in the comments. So that means that the last major piece of construction that needs to happen in this room is changing the door into the adjoining bathroom from its current state of awkwardly swinging out into the room into a sleek sliding pocket door. My parents worked on this a bit while I was away, so let me hit the highlights. They found a pocket door kit on sale at Lowe's that was adjustable for multiple door sizes. They framed up a new wall on the bathroom side so that the door would have a place to slide without disturbing the existing plaster wall structure. Sure, this is going to eat up a few inches of space in the bathroom, but we have plans to use the space on the other side of the door for a little inset shelving, and having the door tuck away entirely makes the room feel bigger anyway, so it gives that kind of visual space even if we're taking away space from the bathroom. The old bathroom door had a big chunk taken out of the corner, so we're going to use the old ULC door, which is the same size instead. That door was painted on one side and mostly unpainted on the other side, so after my dad did some initial sanding, I went in to finish the job. And let's go ahead and prep the door for the pocket door latch while we're at it. We're gonna stain the natural side of the door that goes toward the bathroom once we get there in the bathroom makeover, but for now we're just gonna paint the bedroom side of the door to match the walls and trim in that room. After adding in a custom casing and some additional moldings that we pulled from another door in the house, all the little gaps are hidden and the door is looking pretty good. Now we can prime and paint the door and casing to finish this area off. My boyfriend Matt is using an ancient can of oil-based primer from my parents' house to prime the door frame. Oil-based primer is great for painting wood with knot, since the knot coloration tends to bleed through latex primers. See Exhibit A in my atrium that has gotten multiple coats of paint and primer and still has knots bleeding through. I wanted to be able to close the bathroom door for the final reveal, since nothing says finished room reveal like looking through a beautiful room into a complete construction zone that is the bathroom right now. And so even though there are a few more changes to come around this doorway with a custom threshold and such, you get the idea for this video. While we're at it, let's clean up and finish the other doors as well. The UBC door only had one coat of paint from the initial bedroom makeover since we weren't really sure if it was staying, and the door to the hallway has never been painted at all and looks like a mess. So let's do some filling, priming, and painting on those as well. I mentioned that this video is going to be all about those little design details, so here we go. The painted over hinges and door plates made the doors feel really messy, so I chipped the paint off the hinges to reveal the worn brass underneath. We also stripped the paint off of some knob plates that came off of various doors in the house to get them back to a natural metal finish. They're imperfect and aged, but I'm cool with that. The contrast of the metal against the light painted doors gives some nice definition and feels more intentional. I opted to use crystal knobs for the door to the hall, and although I had planned to do the same for the closet door, I thought this unique tiger eye knob fit the vibe of the space better. It's also the only one I have like this, so it's a great one-off for a closet. All of these knobs came with the house and were mismatched at random. I don't really mind that there's a lot of different styles and colors, but the placement needs to feel intentional. I also need to remove the gray and brown paint from the closet threshold that's peeking out and looking mismatched. So I go in with my favorite heat gun and sanding combo to strip it back to natural wood. I'll probably stain and seal this once we complete the closet at some point, but for today the natural wood looks good enough. For the pocket door, a cheap latch from Amazon in an oil rub bronze finish should work nicely. And some hooks on the back of the door would be super functional. So let's reuse the ones that used to be on the old bathroom door. I started stripping them down just to remove the drippy paint, but the stripper ended up taking off all the powder coated white finish as well. Even better! After cleaning them up, I sprayed them in a dark copper shade to give them a warm brown metallic finish. This is the same shade that's on the built-in cabinet handles and the hearth edging as well. Now let's talk about art. I mentioned in my framing video that Leah from Flanzella was going to send me a custom print for my mantle to fit in this copper looking thrifted frame. So I just checked the mail and I got this. I know it's going to be the art print from Leah from Flanzella, partly because it's from Canada and partly because it looks like this, and this is so Leah. I cannot wait to open this, so let's not wait. Let's do it right now. I chose her piece Goldie Fly since I love the clean, crisp sculptural shapes and the kind of scientific drawing feel that the butterfly fish combo gives. I also thought that the warm reds, oranges, and browns would work well with the palette for this room. Leah also sent me one of her collage kits that features a selection of vintage magazine clippings like the ones that she works with. I'm really excited to pull all these out and see what treasures are in there and make something really cool with these. I'm gonna drop some links down below, both to the Goldie Fly print and to the collage kit, so you can check them out if you're interested. Thank you so much to Leah for sending these my way. Once I got the piece in place, I thought I would soften the look a little bit by adding in these two vintage pieces that I got at a flea market in Sorrento on my Italy trip. These were €5 each, which is a steal, and you know I could not go to Italy without checking out a little bit of the thrifting scene there, so here you go. I'm also adding this Carpaccio print that I reframed in my framing video over on the wall by the wardrobes to add some warm wood tones and softness to that wall. Having the door slide instead of open also gives room for this nice tall standing mirror that I got from IKEA. I think this is the only item in the room aside from the Brooklinen sheets that was not thrifted, but I did find this in the as-is section, so maybe that still counts. Okay, let's talk plants. I think that plants are a really great way to add a little bit of life and texture to a space. Even though I have plants in other spaces, I've never put plants in this room since it is such a low light space with only one window. So I recruited Matt again to help me shop for some plants that could survive and thrive in low light without being super high maintenance. Matt is a bit of a plant expert. He has so many really cool and exotic plants in his space, and he knows so much about their natural environments and how to care for them. So he's the perfect person to consult here.
I don't think so. I think we got the best ones. These are busted.
I love that.
What?
First things first, we need a tallish sculptural plant to go over in the corner by the mirror. We checked out Lowe's together to see what their selection was like, and based on what they had in stock, Matt suggested a yucca. Even though they're listed as highlight plants, they are a desert plant after all, they'll have no problem in a low light environment. They also require infrequent watering, so it'll be easy to care for. Matt also informed me that these plants have been cut and sealed so they will never grow any taller. The leaves will continue to grow and develop, but the height and shape are locked in, so it's important that we choose the size and shape that we like best. While we're here, let's pick up a vining plant that can sit on the wardrobe and drape down over time. Pothos are a super common plant that require very little maintenance and can survive in basically any conditions. You've probably seen these a lot since they're easy to care for. Matt says that makes them a little bit basic in the eyes of plant snobs, but they're still pretty and hard to kill for the rest of us. However, if you want to up your game a bit, you can get a different pothos variety that looks a bit more unique and less recognizable. This one has been hybridized to have these unusual leaf shapes, but it's still a pothos, so low light and infrequent watering still apply. And the beigey pot, even though it's plastic, is pretty convincing and workable. Done. Let's repot the yucca in a basic $10 terracotta pot.
We're going to open this up, and because these are separate plants, we're going to try to keep this fall together as much as possible.
Okay. Okay.
See a lot of this white? So this is a fungal growth. It can be caused by too much humidity or not enough humidity, so it's really hard to say. But the best way to get rid of it is just to sacrifice this individual leaf,
Okay.
right? It's not a big deal to leave it. It's not going to kill the plant. It will spread, and it just aesthetically doesn't look great.
No, it doesn't.
After we get the big things, we're going to take the hose and we're going to spray off the rest of it.
Okay. I'm adding a terracotta saucer that I had on hand since this pot has a hole in the bottom, and I'm also placing a tile underneath as a barrier for the floor since terracotta is porous and can still hold water. It shouldn't be too much of an issue in this case since the plant won't need much water, but let's be on the safe side. I'm adding a clipping of one of Matt's monsteras over on the other side of the room to get some green on that side of the room and keep things balanced. Balance is key in styling a space. As I'm choosing the final items and placing them, I'm thinking about getting sort of an even balance around the room of light and dark, full and empty, traditional and modern, and trying to add in little moments of color or that Asian inspiration all around the space so that they're not all in one area. I think this is especially important when you're trying to combine multiple styles or working with more of an eclectic vibe. If you're blending traditional and modern and you have all the traditional items on one side of the space and all of the modern items on the other side of the space, it's just gonna feel lopsided and disjointed. And so as I'm styling each area of the room, I'm thinking about putting multiple styles in each section, and also if I introduce a new element, trying to put something like that somewhere else in the room as well, so that it feels balanced and not random. One additional area where I'm thinking about balance is in the lighting. We want to have a nice distribution of light around different parts of the space. I was hoping to add a little battery operated picture light over the top of Leah's piece to highlight the piece and to bring some light to the mantle area and to give a little bit more of that vintage dark academia vibe. However, I couldn't find anything that was what I was looking for. Everything was like too LED, or it was expensive, or it came with a cord. So hopefully I'll find something down the line, but I haven't just yet. I did, however, find a great lamp for over in the corner in front of the screen. I wanted to bring a little bit of light to that corner, and I found this awesome crate and barrel lamp on Facebook Marketplace for $75. It had a few little marks on the shade, so I ended up getting it for $60, but I think it adds a nice warm column of light over in the corner. Soft diffused light I think is the best lighting for a bedroom since it gives a moody, dramatic, atmospheric feel and also is very flattering. Alright, all the final details are in place and this room is finished. I cannot wait to show you how everything looks. Just a little reminder here that if you're taking a lot of time with your space, if you're working one project at a time or constantly adding new things and making changes to your space, that's totally okay. Makeover in a weekend is always fun and exciting, but there's something really rewarding about how much time I have spent with this space, really cultivating all of the elements and bringing them together. Also, there are still some things that could be added or changed, so is the room ever done? I don't know. If you liked this video, if you want to see more makeover videos like this, be sure to hit the like button. If you want to join the long game home makeover process, be sure that you're subscribed. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon.